Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach and author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. All this week, I'm talking to Germany and Kayla. They're from Sloppy Dogs out of Houston, Texas. These ladies are just amazing. They offer great food, great service, and they've transformed the humble hot dog into something that's absolutely spectacular. Being on TV is not always easy, and today Sloppy Dogs shares their experience on how they got onto the Food Truck Face-Off on Cooking Channel.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
You guys support any charities or do any kind of work of that nature in your area?
Occasionally we will collab with Sam's Club. And when we go to Sam's Club, our proceeds to the Children's Miracle Hospital.
Okay. Those are always fun.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about y'all's families. Y'all having kids, married, single?
We just got a new puppy.
Okay.
And I was thinking to myself, I was going to tell my mom and dad, this is the closest you're going to get to being a grand. None of us have kids, and our parents are like, we want some grandbabies. But yeah, we don't have any kids, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. Nope.
Right. So since you've been open a year now, does the workload and your business, has it fulfilled the dream that you had, or is it way different than what you thought it would be?
So in my mind, I envisioned opening Sloppy Dog. We have long lines, and then we become millionaires. It has been the complete opposite of that. We are not millionaires yet. It's not for the weak. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Yeah, it's not for the weak. And there have been so many times where we could have given up and said, you know what? Hey, we tried, but it's just not working out for us.
So what made you push through those times when it felt like it wasn't working out?
Probably not wanting to go back to working for someone else.
And that's as good as motivation as any right there.
Yeah, I think that would I would be so hurt if I had to go back to the classroom, and I would feel like a failure. And I don't like feeling like a failure or a quitter. I think it's more on this. We work so hard, do all of this just to go back to work for someone else. No.
Let's talk a little bit about when you guys had the opportunity to get on the Food Truck Face-Off. How did that feel when you got that phone call?
Well, tell him the story because we didn't get it at first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So initially we got an email. I got the email and I was like, this is probably some gimmick or it's a joke. I'm like, this isn't real. So I sent the screenshot to my sister, my mom, and they were like, hey, go ahead and respond and see what happens. So I replied and the lady was like, okay, cool. We'll set you up on a Zoom. I'm like, oh, this is really happening. So we did our Zoom casting video and I emailed back and I'm like, hey, did we get it? Did we not? Well, you'll get an email if you got it. So long story short, the executive producer sent an email and said, hey, you got picked for the show, ... However, you're going to be an alternate. I said, so at this point, in the ... and it said, you're an alternate. So we're like, okay, what does this mean? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're an alternate. If for any reason one of the other trucks can't make it, then you'll be on the show. So we were sick. We were so sick because we had been waiting for months to hear if we had gotten on the show. And then they came back and were like, oh, you're an alternate. So after that point, we were just like, okay.
A week later, well, she was so mad. I'm the one that's like, hey, it's in God's hands. It is what it is. Whatever is meant for us is meant for us. She was just like, no, we've been waiting this long and they tell us we're alternate. And I'm just, no, I'm about to call them and set up another appointment. I'm like, okay, girl, go ahead. If you think that, you that mad and think that you can change that's when you set it up with
the assistant or one of the assistant producers.
They gave us another chance to do another interview.
He reached out and was like, okay, he was like, hey, I want to do another interview with y'all. Can we do it right now? Like right away. And I'm like, didn't y'all already told us we're alternates? I don't like, why do we keep doing these interviews if y'all aren't going to put us on the show? So at that point, I'm like, okay, Keela, hey, drop everything. So we get on call. And at this point, I'm like annoyed. So I'm like, hey, I'm just laying it down. Like, this is who we are. We got the best hot dog. Like, I'm really selling us because I'm believing in us. And I'm like, how dare y'all tell us we're alternates? Like, have you seen our food? We're not alternate material. No. No. We did the interview with him and he was like, yeah. He was like, oh my. He's like, okay, thank y'all for doing the Zoom. And we're still sitting there like, okay.
Did we get it?
Are we going to get it now? He's like, I'm going to look over it and discuss it with the executive producer and you should hear back from us. So we kind of were like, you know what? We're not going to get it. We tried. We can say we at least got to do a casting call. I think he called me. And he's like, hey, Germany, guess what? He was like, remember I told you that there's a great chance that we're going to need you? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, hey, you're going to be on the show. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, have your emotions ever been like high, low? So I was at the point where I'm like, should I be excited? Should I not? Like, I didn't know how to respond to it because I'm like, first you told me we're going to be on it, then we're not, we are. Yeah. So he called and he said, it was like, hey, you're going to be on there and be looking for another email to come. And that's how we got on the show. Yeah, because of him. His name was Ed. Ed was so awesome.
He was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So how do you think the show
people you meet like once in a lifetime?
Not too bad. Yeah.
I think it was on point.
You think so?
Because I'm a very reserved, quiet, shy person. Mm. And that's how most people know me. But I do have a quirky, goofy side, and that's what they got to see on TV. I was the one running around in a hot dog costume.
Right.
And some of my family members, you were running around in a hot dog costume, and that's my other personality.
And usually I'm the one that just don't care and talkative and, just not shy. But on TV, I was like, what? You want me to say what? You want me to do what? I can't repeat exactly what you just said. So it was very difficult for me. My anxiety was really, really.
Have you guys been back to Rose Hill since the show?
Yes, we have. We just went.
Yeah, we just went last Sunday.
Yeah, we did it really good.
Very well.
So the Sunday when it was warm, not the Sunday when it was cold.
It wasn't good.
It was cold.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was cold because it was a nice day, but it was probably in the 50s because we were like, oh my gosh, we're going to Rose Hill, but it's cold. People aren't outside, but they came out and we sold out of a lot of items.
Oh, really? Double Trouble was telling me they had a really good Saturday, this past Saturday, the one that I left on. But you guys are talking about the Sunday before that, right?
Correct. So not yesterday, but the previous Sunday.
Still, it's pretty decent sales for as cold as it was. Do you guys have a schedule to go back out there again?
Honestly, they really gave us, like, we can go out there whenever we want. We just have to coordinate it with the manager.
Right.
They said we're welcome. So, if we wanted to go out there again, just reach out and say, hey, can we come out on this day? Because they do have that rotating truck schedule.
Right.
So we have to make sure it kind of coordinates.
You guys have been an absolute joy to talk to.
Oh, thank you.
Same here.
We never thought we'd be on a TV show. A podcast. We never thought we would podcast. We never thought we just, things are just landing in our lap and we're grateful for it. So we appreciate you, like I said, believing in us and even finding interest in us.
Well, you guys deserve that kind of stuff. I mean, when we stepped up you had that over the top greeting, and I really think that was a sincere greeting, even though you knew, Lauren's bringing us somebody, or Lori rather, Lori's bringing us somebody. But still, it felt very genuine and very sincere. And step on the food truck, and the food truck's nice and clean, very organized. I mean, there was nothing for me to say, hey, well, if y'all do this better, I'm like, I wish everybody would do as much as you guys are doing, and would just try. And you guys are trying. You alluded to you got some stuff coming up in the future. Is there anything you can share that you want to kind of tease? It's going to be happening with Coffee Dogs.
I think ultimately, we're gonna open more days. We're trying to figure out the best hours to open. We're still in that best days to open. What are the best hours? Should we open early? Should we close late?
Right.
Should we open on Sundays as opposed to Tuesdays? We're still in that experimental stage where we're trying to figure out what works best. Everything has been trial and error. Every single thing. We learn something from every, I don't want to say failure, but everything that's happened to us. So I think what you'll see next from Sloppy Dog, we have been on our content. You'll see more of the Sloppy Dog costume. You will see more TikTok videos, definitely.
There you
go. We're just trying to be more entertaining and step outside the box. Because when you go to most food truck or even restaurant pages, all you're going to see is food. We know nothing about the owners. Right. We there's nothing funny. There's nothing entertaining. So we are trying to find ways to build customer rapport. And, hey, I want to go to that place that has that hot dog jumping around on TikTok all the time. So that's the angle we're going to we're going to aim for that this year and see how it goes. Ultimately, I'm very big on customer service because when I go somewhere, I want to be greeted with a smile. I want to show I want to be appreciated. I want them to say, you know what? They went above and beyond. They asked how my day was. They asked if I needed anything else. They were smiling. They were happy. I don't want to see a review that said, hey, customer service was horrible, because that's not who we are.
Drive time for some of Sloppy Dog's guests is one of the topics we're going to talk about tomorrow as we wrap up the week-long interview. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you have a need for a business coach, check out my affordable services. The link, as always, are in the description. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We got a whole bunch of awesome members from all levels, from brand new to decades-old veterans, and they've all got your back when it comes to getting you and your food truck business off to a great start. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because, I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business.